Well, Merry Christmas, church, and welcome to day 4 of our countdown to Christmas. Man, the Christmas season and all the traditions are in full swing. One of the things that's happening on a regular basis is watching Christmas movies, and I've already watched one of our favorites, that is the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and so this one's for you, Cousin Eddie. But today's passage is actually out of Exodus. And so if you're following along with our countdown to Christmas, you can take down today's chain. And we're going to be reading out of Exodus chapter 12. And it was this verse that was actually later turned into a movie. Now, it's not the traditional Christmas movie. It was turned into a movie called The Ten Commandments, starring Charlton Heston back in the 50s. But as we study today's scripture, you're going to see how the movie, The Ten Commandments, and the story of God in Exodus connects with the Christmas story. So let's read it together. Chapter 12, verse 13. The blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will destroy you. Here's our thought for today, that God will make a way where there seems to be no way. When we really consider where God's people were in history at this point, is the Israelites were slaves. They've been slaves in Egypt for hundreds of years. And you just have to believe that they thought, you know what? It's just always going to be like this. We're just always going to be slaves to the Egyptians. There seemed to be no way out, and yet God made a way. But the way that he made it didn't really make sense. There was a very unique set of circumstances and set of miracles that God put in place through the leadership of Moses that eventually led to the salvation and the freedom of his people. And this is where we are in verse 13. He says, I want you to take the blood of a lamb and put it over your doorpost. And this is going to be a sign between us. And even though death is imminent, death will pass over you and I will save you. So let's think about that for a moment. How does the blood of a lamb put over my front door save me? Well, the truth is, it's not the blood that saved them. It was the faith that they had in the blood that saved them. See, God said, this will be a sign between us. And here's what God is really saying to them and to us, is do you trust me? Do you trust me to do things my way? Now let's fast forward 1,500 years. Now we're to the Christmas story. You know, the birth of Jesus, we see the life of Jesus through the gospel, and ultimately the crucifixion. And once again, we are at a crossroads where we get to put our faith and trust in Jesus. And once again, Jesus is telling them that it is my blood that will be poured out that will save you. Well, how does blood being poured out on a cross save us? Well, it's not the blood itself. It's the faith that we have in the blood. That God is who he says he is, and that Jesus did what he said he was going to do when he died on the cross for you, that his blood was poured out for the forgiveness of sins. And when we truly trust him and believe him and we do things God's way, here's the good news. God will make a way where there seems to be no way.